I was born and raised in Huu-ay-aht and spent my early childhood and early adulthood here, and grew up mainly in the fishing industry.
Robert has always been somebody that holds people up, especially people in our community.
When I got elected, I remember my first task as a chief counselor was to sign a stack of checks. And I said, what are all these checks for? They were the welfare checks. And I thought to myself, well, I didn't run for chief counselor to sign welfare checks. We had to follow a different path or we wouldn't be making any progress. There was some wood out in the woods that were caused by blowdowns. And one day they came and asked us, do you guys want to try it? People told us we were going to fail. When somebody says you can't achieve something, roll up your sleeve. Start showing these moments how it should be managed. The change that is happening has just been incredible. And then seeing the change of some of our people who had kind of given up. So now you got some people that are working for us who I'm proud of, pulled themselves off the street and I'm going to apply for a place to live, I'm going to apply for a job, and then to have them still working here years later, that to me is one of the most rewarding things to see.
I sat beside him for 10 years and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about our land, our way of life. I learned about the principles in which Nuu-chah-nulth calls sacred. We built a strategy that honored our traditions and culture. We ended up actually changing the way consultation worked.
We can't worry about what happened in the past, and we can learn from the past, but we can't worry about it. We can't blame people for what happened. We can't blame other jurisdictions. We can't blame other things outside our nation. We can only focus on what we have inside of ours and take it step by step.
Robert brings the best out in people. He helps them get from where they are to where they want to be, and that just translates into everything that those people touch, their families, their teams, their organizations, and their communities.
If I had a choice, this award wouldn't belong to me. It would belong to the community, because it's the community that made these decisions. Wasn't Robert Dennis and wasn't the councillors of the day. It was the people that decided, let's do this. We hear people saying, you know, why can't we get into business? How come they don't get into business? And people, I don't know what the word is, you know, they advocate that nothing's being done. And I always say, rather than complain about it, what are you going to do about it? What can you do to change that? If there's a plan that needs to be developed, do it. If there's capital investment that's needed, and if it's viable, do it. And if it's a business opportunity that's worth building on and doing it, do it. If it's employee, do it, just do it. Take the risk, because now you're paving the path for others to follow. You're not following anybody else's path. You're going down your own trail. We live in a culture that people believe that First Nations don't have the capabilities to do things. We're going to destroy that myth.